The child in the cellar. The mansion loomed like a wound on the edge of town. Its windows were hollow sockets. Its roof sagged like a broken spine, and yet, children still dared each other to touch its gate. They called it the house that eats voices, because those who entered never seemed to be heard from again. Eliza had heard the whispers all her life. On stormy nights, when lightning split the sky, she swore she could see shapes moving in the upper windows. But what drew her wasn't the shadows upstairs. It was the faint sound beneath the earth. A child's cry. It came at dusk, thin and desperate. "Help me, please." One evening, lantern in hand, Eliza pushed open the rusted gate. Its scream echoed across the empty street. The air thickened and the silence of the town pressed against her as though the whole world held its breath. Inside, dust choked the halls. The wallpaper curled away like burnt skin. Every step groaned beneath her boots, and with each creak, it felt as if the house leaned closer. Then she found it. Beneath a moth-eaten rug in the parlor, an iron-ringed trapdoor, hidden but waiting. Her lantern light brushed across claw-like scratches surrounding it, as though something had tried to get out. And from below, the cry again. "Please, I'm cold." Her stomach knotted. Every instinct told her to leave. But the sound of a child in pain, how could she turn away? Eliza pulled open the door. The smell struck first. Damp stone, rotting wood, and something coppery beneath. She swallowed hard, then began her descent. The cellar was narrow, the walls slick with moisture. Her lantern flame fluttered, casting frantic shadows. Each step downward seemed to pull her away from the world above, into a space that didn't belong to time. At the bottom, her light revealed shelves. At first, she thought they held jars of preserves, but as she drew closer, her breath caught. Inside each glass jar, small bones. Some still wore scraps of fabric, as if they had once belonged to toys. Others had dark stains crusted at the bottom. Her hand trembled so violently she nearly dropped the lantern. The cry came again, sharper now, from the farthest corner. She followed, heart pounding, until she saw it. A small wooden door, no taller than a child's shoulders. Its surface quivered with the pounding of tiny fists from the other side. "It's dark. So dark," the voice whimpered. Eliza reached for the latch, but as her fingers brushed the wood, the voice changed. It giggled. Low. Wrong. The pounding became claws scratching, tearing into the wood. A sharp laugh spilled out, echoing in the cellar like broken glass. Her lantern flickered. She stumbled back, and her light fell across the far wall. There, burned into the fireplace stone, were words, blackened and cracked as though scorched by fire itself. "Don't let it out." Her breath hitched. She turned toward the door, just as a splinter cracked loose, revealing not a child's hand, but something long, black, and sharp pressing through. The lantern sputtered, the light dimming, and from the darkness, the voice whispered her name. Eliza. The flame died. Darkness swallowed everything. Eliza froze in the dark, her breath shallow, the name still curling in her ears like smoke. It knew her. For a moment, the cellar was utterly silent, except for the faint drip of water somewhere in the black. She clutched her lantern, shaking it, willing the flame back. Nothing, just the suffocating dark. Then, scratching. The sound swelled from the door, faster, hungrier. Wood splintered as claws tore deeper. The giggles grew into high, shrill laughter that didn't belong to any child. Eliza stumbled backward until her shoulders struck the cold stone wall. Her trembling fingers brushed against something, a shard of glass from one of the bone-filled jars. She held it close, though she doubted it would matter. The cellar seemed to stretch around her, shadows moving like water. Then she realized she wasn't alone. Breath behind her, slow, wet, inhuman. "Eliza," the voice purred again, this time not from the door, but from right beside her ear. She spun, slashing with the glass but struck nothing, only air and dust. The laughter rippled all around her now, as if the walls themselves mocked her. Her hand brushed the fireplace again, the burned words still warm under her skin. Don't let it out. But it was already out. The small door burst with a crack like gunfire, shards of wood flying into the dark. Something crawled through, its form only glimpsed in flashes of lantern sparks. A small, hunched silhouette, its limbs too long, its head cocked unnaturally to one side. It sniffed the air, smiled wide enough to split its face. Finally, it hissed. Eliza bolted for the stairs. Her boots pounded the stone, but each step seemed longer than the last, as though the cellar was stretching, refusing to let her leave. She dared one glance back. The thing skittered on all fours, its joints bending backward, claws dragging sparks along the stone floor. Its eyes burned like coals in the dark, and its voice rang like 1,000 children whispering at once. "You opened the door. You set me free." Her heart pounded. The stairs finally ended at the trapdoor, but when she pushed, it didn't budge. Something heavy pressed against it from above. The creature's hand wrapped around her ankle. Cold, strong, pulling. "No!" she screamed, kicking wildly. Her heel connected with its jaw, a crunch echoing in the dark. It shrieked, more animal than human, and released her. In that moment of desperation, she remembered the jars, the bones. She scrambled back down the stairs, seized one of the jars, and hurled it at the creature. It shattered, scattering tiny bones across the floor. The thing recoiled, shrieking as though burned, clawing at the fragments. The whispers rose, voices of the children trapped within the jars. They cried, they begged, and then they chanted, "Eliza, don't let it escape." The creature staggered, its form flickering like a dying flame. It lunged at her, but the voices grew louder, wrapping around it like chains. Its claws scraped the floor, dragging deep furrows as it was pulled back toward the broken door. "Not again!" it howled. "Not back!" But the cellar roared with the fury of all it had consumed. The tiny bones glowed white-hot, and the creature was dragged screaming into the darkness behind the small door. With a deafening slam, it sealed shut. Silence. Eliza collapsed, her chest heaving, lantern shards around her like stars. The cellar no longer seemed endless, just a damp, rotting hole. She climbed the stairs once more. This time the trapdoor gave way easily. She stumbled into the parlor, gasping in the stale air of the mansion. The house was silent again. But carved into the wood of the trapdoor, new words had appeared, fresh and raw. "It waits for the next one." Eliza left without looking back. Some doors, she realized, are never meant to be opened. Lessons for viewers. Not every cry for help is meant to be answered. Curiosity can awaken things better left forgotten. Some chains exist,